Okay, I hit start streaming. I thought I would hear like screaming when I did that, but I don't hear anything, so I don't know what that means. Maybe I did it wrong.
Oh. Linux is also playing Overwatch now. Like whatever.
Okay, Linux is always playing Overwatch.
He was playing Madden earlier. I would have played Overwatch with him. Like I would have invited him to come play, but he was playing Madden. So
Linux plays Madden?
He was earlier when I was on the stream.
Just when you think you know somebody, it's just it's like, come on. Luigi's Mansion, just adding that to the outline there.
I need to pick that up. The 3DS version?
Yep.
Yeah, I need to pick that up.
Why is that the first and only GameCube game that we've gotten? That seems weird.
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to be consistent with they wanted to have a platform that had both Luigi Mansion game on it. I don't know.
I mean, it's certainly one where the analog triggers don't matter. I mean, yeah, you can set how much the poltergust works.
I was going to say,
it doesn't really matter. If you
gotcha. Yeah, it is really just suck or not suck.
Kind of, sort of.
Oh.
Oh, I emailed you a voicemail. Hopefully you got it.
Oh. Okay. This is how we're... What is the plan for said voicemail?
The plan is for you to somehow play it so I can hear it, and Costa can hear it, and then the internet can hear it. And everything will come together.
Cool. Let me figure out how we're going to do that real quick. By chance, help desk analyst contract work in Wilmington, Delaware. Interviews Friday. Yeah, thanks, recruiter. But I don't think you've ever actually looked at my resume. What? Like, what makes you think any of that's going to be what I'm like?
You know we're live now, right?
I'm fine. Oh. Cool. Hey,
I'm just making sure.
No, like this isn't. Hey, when you're in IT, you get random recruiters that I think they just saw computer was somewhere on your resume, and they're like, "You'll be perfect. Why don't you move to the middle of Arizona for this 3-month contract?" Like
3 months.
Why would I do that?
You could almost make a friend, and then you'll leave.
I get it. It is a negative job market in respect to there are more jobs than people to fill in security roles and whatnot. But you didn't pay. I've gotten jobs for my interview or for my place of work for people that work for me. They're like, "You'd be perfect for this." I'm like, I know the boss. But what? No, come on, seriously. So, anyway, yeah. But that guy sent me an email at 6:13 today, and this is the first time I looked at my email in a while. So, let's see. How would I do this?
Well,
share sound system. I still have. Yeah, I'm still rocking the old one. So let's test that real quick.
Okay.
I mean, we can test it while it's streaming, but.
Well, we are streaming.
Hey, what's going on, GameEnthus crew?
Yep.
You guys doing?
Okay. So I'll re-enable sharing when we get to that part, and there we go.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right, so we can get started now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right down.
Welcome to the pre-show.
I know, right? Where are we? 20. All right.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, October 18th. I hope. Is it October 18th?
It is.
It is.
This GameEnthus Podcast, episode 358. I'm Aaron, one of the hosts here. If you can see me, I'm waving. Tiny is also here. That's on theme.
It doesn't really work well when you can actually see me doing it. Hey, I'm here. You have Michael Myers or whatever next to me.
That's supposed to be Mike.
I understood what the joke, but it's Mike. Yeah. Mike.
He and his wife are enjoying Halloween probably as we speak, so we'll let them do that.
Is this the new Halloween or the original Halloween?
This is the new Halloween. Sure. This is the 40-year later Halloween.
Okay, so this is the one where Fox News was like, "Oh my God, Jamie Lee Curtis uses a gun in the movie. That must mean she's a hypocrite on guns."
Yeah, because you can't as an actor.
Zombie guys coming after her. Maybe there's exceptions.
As an actor, you can't have a role where something you do or say is something you would do in real life. You can't.
Yes,
that's not what acting is. So Christian Bale really goes around in like a costume, jumping on rooftops. That's yep.
I mean,
Yep, that's second.
Is Jean-Luc Picard. Like, I mean, if we're gonna like go that far,
Yeah, he kind of is. Yeah, Ian McKellen does have a magnetic personality, so
he's an English guy that was raised in France, so with the perfect English accent.
yeah. But enough about that. We have a guest this week. Kosa is joining us once again. Welcome, Kosa.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing this podcast. How are you doing?
Good. Doing great.
Good to hear.
It's been so long.
It has been a while. What have you been up to? Tell us everything. Like just start off every day. Just I woke up.
Oh my
I had
God.
breakfast. I had coffee. Go.
That's gonna be the simplest job. It's gonna be, I woke up, I had coffee, I worked for 9 hours, and then I went home, play video games, and went to bed. In
Rinse
2
repeat.
years.
Yep.
For 2 years.
For 2 straight years without a
Just
break.
Keep going, no breaks.
What do you mean there's no coffee? Where are the video games?
If there's no coffee, I stop functioning.
The office is closed. You're throwing my schedule off. Okay, so. But guess more seriously though, like I say, anything
What
in
would
between.
be what would be the highlights you
Yes.
would like to share? Let's go with that.
Good word.
I now have more time to play video games, so that's the highlight.
Okay.
Good. So yeah, I'm more stable. I can actually play video games and buy them. That's good, you know. So that's probably the biggest. And then now I have time to play games like Persona 5, where I hate myself for playing this game.
That's a career. That's not really.
That's what I'm saying. That's my second job.
Yeah. As long as you know. That's.
Yeah, like 100%. It's my second job. And every time I pick it up again, it's like, oh God, bye. Don't see me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played a. Is that the first one you've gotten into, or did you play some of the other?
Oh no, I play Persona 2, Persona 3, Persona 4, and then 5.
Okay. Which one do you like best?
I still like 3 the best.
Okay. What about it? Do you like more than 4 and 5?
I feel like Persona 3 had that, like, you need to hurry or you're gonna die, or you have this monster coming after you when you're in basically hell. It's called Tartarus, but it's hell. And if you stay in the same floor for so long, then they come and hunt you and kill you. And it's a one-shot kill, so there's no escaping that.
I thought they were RPGs. I thought there was some kind of.
There is. I feel like I like the characters better. But the main character is kind of bland. That's why Persona 4 is so popular, because at least the main character has a little bit more, personality.
So is this Persona 3 Fez or just regular
Yes.
Persona 3?
I play both.
What is the difference? I own
You
one
get-
of them, but I don't know which one.
So
Why would
besides specific social links, you get to be a woman.
Oh, that would matter. Yeah.
So you get to pick either a man or a woman, and you can have all these relationships with all these other characters.
Okay.
So it's pretty good. I still like that one the best. I feel like the whole let me summon my persona by shooting in my head. Boop. I don't know. I like that better than crushing cars.
Okay.
Kind of lame.
It's
I was gonna say that's the Invoker one. Yeah, like it's like
Yeah.
that's the one that came to North America and people were like, teens are shooting themselves in the head.
yeah,
Yep,
that was the
that's
first thing
the
I was
one.
Yeah, out of context, it's like what?
Yep. So
Can't they do it without shooting themselves? Could they like stub a toe and then?
well, in every persona, they have like something that characterizes them summoning the persona.
Mm-hmm.
So in 3, it was a gun. And then in 4, they were just crushing the cars.
How do you go from shooting yourself in the head to crushing a? Like, what was it in 5? Like, you shake your own
5
hand.
is a mask.
Like, this like,
Right.
5 is a mask. Which makes more sense, because this, the main character has different personalities. So
Okay, that.
changing
alright.
mask.
So you go from gun, car, mask.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I've never played any of these games. They look really cool, especially 5. Just the art style and it just looks really neat. I just don't have the 80, 90 hours or patience enough to.
I wish it was 80 and 90 hours. I was like, I'm almost done.
Oh, it's.
Oh, you have 20 hours more. I'm like, okay. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm out. Yeah,
I'm okay.
not. Nope. I will never play that game.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you're enjoying them.
Thanks.
Have you gone to any conventions or anything? As of late?
Yes.
Where
So
have
the
you
last The last convention I went was PAX West or
Okay.
Prime, and that was a lot of fun. I met up with a lot of people that when I used to go to the conventions all the time, I will meet up, but it was just like a meetup, and then we just kind of disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
This time I actually hang out with them, and we went karaokeing, and we went to like parties, like the Legion party.
That's a
It was
very
really
different
fun.
experience than
Oh
we had.
yeah, it was to me it was like, have I been missing out by not going out with like strangers? Like what's happening? It's not actually strangers because I still like tweet them and talk to them, but it was just more like completely different from, I don't know, 8 years that I've been going to these things.
So you would pretty much stick to like the show itself, but then you branched out.
Yes, this time I branched out. I would go to the shows, and then someone would be like, hey, we haven't seen each other in a while. Let's go have lunch. Let's go have dinner. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then we were just craziness.
Yeah, see, we're just like you. We just stop, like, after the, hey, let's do this. We just stop right there. We have good intentions. We should go have lunch. And it just stops. Like,
So
all
that's
communication, done.
That's what I was doing for like the past other years. But this time I decided, you know what?
That sounds scary.
I'm
though.
mature enough. It is. But like, you cannot get connected to the people that you talk to. At least to me, the people that I talk to on Twitter is kind of like, it's always been the same person, and or the same people. And so when I meet them, it's kind of like, we're so nerdy together. It's awesome. Let's just go have fun in the nerdy way.
I get stuck in that initial, like, awkwardness of, like, you're like a real person standing in front of me now.
I'm sorry.
What are we supposed to do here? I don't know. Look over there, and I run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's good.
Yeah. So that was, and I think it wasn't this year, but last year I was at PAX East. So.
Oh, okay. We've been every year except 1 year. Well, I didn't go 1 year, but we always go.
Yeah, we didn't go to PAX Easter.
Yeah, that's the 1 year we didn't go. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know you went to East, so yeah.
Yeah.
We can say on Twitter, hey, we should have lunch. And then,
exactly, and then never talk to each other again.
exactly. And if I see you, I just walk by like, okay.
I don't know.
I'm not hungry.
I mean, I'm done with the show after the first day. So like, hey, whatever.
Everybody is but me. Like everybody's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, no, who's going back to the show floor?
I mean, we're also like we had 7 people in the house, 7 or 8. So like, you got the people you want to hang. Like
Yeah.
Like,
oh well, that makes sense. Yeah.
I don't see your cousin except for when we go up to PAX. So like, yo, hang out with Ben, see what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there are enough of us in the house, so yeah, it's true.
That makes sense. I feel like if you have a group of people, then it's just the group of people. But I was with a group of people, but we weren't staying together in the same hotel. So like, we would always be like, let's go to this party. Let's just go over there. Let's just go karaoke today. Let's go get ramen.
Aren't you tired though? Like after the show floor closes, I'm like a party. Like, bring the party to me.
I mean, yeah, but I take a nap, like 2 hours and then meet them up.
See, if we're not staying together, all I'm rethinking is like, hey, me and Mike went out with people, and then Aaron came at 6 a.m. to say we should get up and go to the show, and we're like, no. I went to bed 2 hours ago. Leave me alone.
You told me to F off in it was like o'clock in the morning.
We really thought it was like someone said it was 4. I thought you were waking us up at 4 in the morning.
I
I'm
wouldn't
like,
do that. You were like,
I
off, man.
How dare you?
Yeah, like I don't care what this hour for free for media is. Leave me alone.
It's not worth it.
I mean, I don't know. We had fun this year, like you and me going in.
Yeah,
so.
we have fun every year.
Yeah.
Except for well, this year they told me like the wrong line to. Yeah, you're on the wrong line. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Just walk straight through.
Yeah.
You know who I am? Exactly. Thank you.
I'm tiny. What? So yeah, that works for you. So, all right, PAX. Nice. I've never been to West. It's always when school starts for the kids, so that's probably never going to happen. Not never, but no time soon. My wife likes when I'm around for the first week of school, for whatever reason.
But I was a little disappointed this year because I remember the first PAX West that I went to. It was amazing. Like there was so much to do. I didn't have time to do anything, if any. But this time there wasn't that many big, AAA titles. I was expecting to see more. It's like they had Spider-Man and people were making a line for Spider-Man when it was going to release in a week. You already bought it. Like, just wait a week and play it.
Knock people down to play it. That's normal.
I mean, I can't be too critical because me and Aaron's cousin stood in line so that I could buy Luigi's Mansion 2 a day early. So, and that was like a 3-hour line. So it was God. Why am I doing this? And then I played Luigi's Mansion. It was pretty good. So,
Dark of the Moon was a really good game.
I'm looking forward to the third one on Switch.
So am I. And it's funny, it came from a game that, I don't know about you all, when the GameCube came out, I bought it day one. I was still a Nintendo fanboy then. No PS2, I didn't care about Xbox. Bought it day one, it was like, this is a Mario. And I love the series. But, it takes a while,
Right.
It's a couple of years. I was not familiar with it initially.
We could not find memory cards for the GameCube when I got my GameCube in college. I was a freshman in college, so we just left it on with Luigi's Mansion until we beat it for like 3 days.
Oh my God!
Pretty sure that's probably a fire hazard in that dorm, but these things, hey, we survived. Dorm's still there today, as far as I know. So
no thanks to us, we're good.
Yeah, no, I mean, if that was the worst we ever did in the building, we're pretty good.
Yeah. Good old Luigi's Mansion. All right. We talked about conventions, and I gotta get back to that coffee part. What's going on with the coffee? No, I'm kidding. Anything else you want to share about the last 2 years?
Can't think of it right now.
Okay. Well, if it comes to mind, interrupt us. Tell us to shut up, and feel free to share.
Awesome. Will do.
Mike is gone because he's at Halloween. Hopefully it's good, which we were talking about before the show started, actually, about the fact that this is the third movie called Halloween, which, why? They could have just given this any subtitle. They could have called it Halloween 40 years later, I don't know. But they decided to call it Halloween, which is kind of confusing. So here we are. So Tony, now we're up to you. You look deep in thought.
Sorry, someone's work. So there are. So yeah, I don't know. I have several things. I went to Mindfair this weekend. We were doing recruiting there in this is a traveling Minecraft convention.
It's not a telekinesis convention?
It's weirdly not mind, but mine.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing.
Mine is dun 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 dun, and theirs was dun 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 dun.
You can hear the difference.
Totally different. So anyway, so I mean that was fun. We did our recruiting. Saw a lot of people that were very enthusiastic about Minecraft. I just gave the same anecdote. I used to play Minecraft before horses were there, and that's about all I can really relate to that game, or that my niece and nephew had to teach me how to get to the Nether. So but it's always fun. I always we appreciate the space they give us and whatnot. Other stuff. So a game from Ubisoft came out this week called Starlink.
Is this Link in space?
It is the new Toys to Life game.
Yeah, and 20
from Ubisoft.
Yeah, the only ones making. They've cornered the market on Toys to Life because everyone else knows not to get into that market.
The funny thing is, you can actually buy a digital version of the game. It comes with all the content,
for
except
bucks,
for I think
right?
For $80. But I think it doesn't come with the vendor exclusive ships or whatever. Like GameStop and Target still have two. But what's interesting, I got my copy, because we're not in the game section. I never actually got to play this game. So, because the first copy I got sent didn't have the game in it. Only came with the plastic figures and whatnot.
What?
Okay, I'm assuming the amount of money you spent on it made you think you were getting the game, right?
Oh no, the game should have been in it. But there are a number that went to the retail channel that apparently never had the game put in the box.
Are you sure?
Wow.
Thinking about Ubisoft, they sell 19 different versions of many of these games. Half of them don't even have the game with it. So you might have got what you paid for.
I I've been busy with a bunch of different stuff going on, and I was like, wait, did I pick the game out and like just put it down and like I forgot and like did I? So I'm going through it and I start seeing stuff on like forum threads and whatnot and Twitter, and I am by no means the only person this happened to, and they all seem to have come from BestBuy.com.
Ooh.
I've heard of that website.
So, and then someone pointed out there were no stickers on the no seal stickers on the box.
Oh.
I don't know what happened here, but
That's an employee benefit. You get to reach in, and if there's no stickers,
that's
Just
what
pick
Reddit,
what you want.
That's what Reddit jumped to too. But I'm kind of thinking more because it's across multiple platforms and it looks like it's like hundreds. I really doubt the warehouse workers were like, haha, finally, the Starlink game by itself. No, it seems like maybe this was a production issue. So, okay, I bring that to Best Buy that night and say, like, hey, this happened. They return it. Great. I get it back, and then the stupid RFID chip won't recognize in the game. I can't go any further than the start screen.
Oh my god.
And I spend an hour like changing out stuff like, oh no, we've got to troubleshoot. I'm moments away from unscrewing the whole base to figure out like what's loose. Something's just got to be loose. So I've got to return that version. But yeah, so this will be my third version of that game.
Jesus.
Money spent.
Well, I see. That's I'm kind of thinking like maybe I'll just return it. Like I don't know, it's fun, but I want it. It's supposed to be like a good Star Fox game, especially better than Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. So, we'll see.
We got a question in the chat from Javon about what is everyone's favorite space flight game or first, and what made it so dope. He said his is Colony Wars on the PlayStation, or Star Fox for the N64. I'm stalling for time, so Kosa, if you know what your favorite flight game is, please share. I have no idea.
There's Star Fox.
I actually can't recall any games that I played that are space flight.
Yeah, that's not really my genre.
I just don't know.
X-Wing versus Starfighter, or like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, there are a bunch of Star Wars ones that we could go with.
True.
Well, so he didn't mention shooting, so I don't know if that. I mean, I thought he meant like more exploration.
Well,
he did say Star Fox though. So
I don't know. This one is out right now, or it's in early access. Let's talk about Star Citizen and the $100 you can buy a ship with.
Oh god!
Let's not talk about Star
Citizen. And the $10,000 that you can spend on it.
Right. I mean, there is a ship right now that's selling for $660. It's a war class ship. I think we're losing money not buying it right now, guys. I'm just saying. But Elite Dangerous would be another one where like that was back on like the Commodore 64 and whatnot, and then re-released relatively recently. So.
How about Forsaken 64? Does that count? I enjoyed that game.
I mean, if you're going to count that, you can count Descent then.
I didn't play much Descent.
Or I was thinking Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron's great. Like if you're going to count,
I did like Rogue. I got that. That's funny. Going back to the GameCube thing, I got Luigi's Mansion and Tony Hawk, and I was sitting at home. I played them like all day. I was like, I want something to shoot. So I was like, I ran back out to the store and picked up Rogue Squadron and came home. It was like, okay, I'm shooting stuff. Okay, I'm good. Let's go with that one. That was good. I didn't really play the N64 ones that much, but I did play it on GameCube.
Oh, okay. So, you mean Rogue Squadron 3? Well, that's technically not Rogue.
You don't have Tony Hawk 3 for N64?
I do, but I didn't bring it over.
All the cool kids have that.
I was gonna stream some N64 earlier, and then someone's like, "It's my birthday. You should play Overwatch." I'm like, "Okay, if you really want." Anyway, so yeah, so that's Starlink. That was a lot of fun. Hey, Extra Life celebrated its 10-year anniversary, like officially the day, so that's cool. My DVR started recording the 3rd season of Riverdale, and I'm very confused at what's going on inside a show that's supposed to be based on the Archie comic.
Jughead has murdered everyone.
He's the head of a gang.
Do they all eat hamburgers and stuff all the time?
No! He's the head of a gang that Archie is going to juvie in the beginning of season 3, and he's like, "Oh, let me get you some ink so that they'll protect you on the inside." And it's super weird
Like we
because
talking about a tear? He has to kill somebody. What are we talking about here?
no,
What
they give
is
him
this?
he's part of the serpents, so they get him
Oh,
a snake
of course.
tattoo on the. But the problem is, in the last season, Archie started like a militia
What?
to protect the town from a serial killer, and then like recorded this real like Al Qaeda looking video where it's like Archie in front and everyone else behind him is wearing these these pink
What
ski
is
masks
this
or
show
whatever.
supposed to be
I
exactly?
am so confused. I need to watch season 2. Like I watched season 1 and it was like a TV friendly version of 13 Reasons Why. Like if you watch the first season, like because it's all about like there's a suicide and there's like a whole thing going on. They're trying to figure out what happened because then it turns out it's not actually a suicide. Blah blah. Like that first season was cool. I don't know what happened in season 2 to get us to season 3. I'm now learning because this show is bonkers. Like there are babies floating at one point, and I think that's how they're gonna do this. Sabrina, there's a Sabrina spinoff coming
Yes.
that I think comes out next week.
Mhm.
So like from Netflix, yeah, it won't even. Aaron's like, what? But so the weirdest thing, I'll throw this. All of this is very weird, but like they also mix aesthetics. So it's like, so Archie goes to juvie. He's in juvie right now, and his roommate has a record player, and like it's all very like Shawshank Redemption, and I'm like, this isn't what a juvenile detention facility would feel like
I
in
don't think you can
2018.
have a record player. I don't.
Like, what is like they have pinups, but they're very tasteful pinups in the background. Like literally, this cell came out of the 1950s, and you're like, I don't know what he's doing because he has a phone. Like, anyway, it's super weird. I'm going to now watch season 2 and continue watching season 3. So the last two things I'll mention real quick. One, this was a highlight of me being an adult. So I had some friends that got me into Snapchat. I didn't really use it before.
No.
Wait for it. Wait for it. This is gonna be good.
You are a grown man, not in the entertainment industry. You don't need Snapchat.
So I'm on Snapchat. Whatever.
I'm judging.
Anyway, judge. Yep, it was for a girl. So judge as much as you want. Whatever. Except, and this is where we really draw the line. I'm a grown ass man. I was going through Snapchat and I thought the button that I was hitting was like to do a video, and instead it's to make a video call. And it was like 1:30 in the morning. I immediately threw the iPad down, then hit the power button, and so far have never opened Snapchat again. It's been a week and a half.
That's probably for the best.
I'm just gonna abandon the account. So
you probably should move too. I would suggest that. Like, just move.
An adult. So if I
move to Dover, just in case.
if I get stabbed, check my Snapchat history. Anyway, you've got to get my thumb though. I think to like just. I mean, if I'm dead by that point, cut it off. Whatever.
You won't feel it. It's fine.
So, and then the last thing, we were discussing this at work this morning while I was working on numbers. Star Wars versus Star Trek, but like the Rebel Alliance versus like the Starfleet, who would win? And like, there are crazy people that think Star Wars people would win, and they're wrong.
I feel like Star Trek. I feel like they'd aim better.
I think that's one of the many things. So, their magic doesn't really matter if you destroy them from orbit. Like
that too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like most Star Wars ships suck. Like they just figured out in the 8th movie, hey, if we turn around and do light speed, it's like our most effective weapon. So they took out like 6 ships with that. Anyway, we were discussing this going back and forth, and there's like. The only thing that Star Wars really has in their favor is George Lucas doesn't know how math works. So he's like, this ship generates 500,000 gigawatts. And you're like, the heat is about the same as the sun. You're saying Slave One, Boba Fett ship, has a reactor that generates the same heat as the amount of heat as the sun.
Now, how about you're the commanding officer, and instead of just explaining to everybody on the deck that like what your plan is, you keep them completely in the dark to a point where They question your leadership to a point where they're getting ready to form a coup. Had you just explained what you wanted them to know, it would have gone over that much smoother. Like,
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, but that's the Final Fantasy problem. Like, if Orin just told you everything at the beginning of Final Fantasy X, most of that story would be like, "Oh, okay, my dad's an evil whale. Gotcha."
it's like in Labyrinth. If that
Sorry,
worm would have
spoilers.
told the girl to go to the left or the right, she'd gone right to the castle and got her baby brother back, and they would have been fine.
Like, yeah, this would have been a 20-minute movie.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's for the best then. Okay, never mind.
But I see you have a really interesting one to start off with, because I've been talking with people about this show. Have you just started watching Adam Ruins Everything?
Yeah, I think I'm on like episode like 2 or 3, so I haven't watched that much.
That show's so good.
It is very good.
Okay,
And
so everybody's watched it. Excellent.
Yeah.
It's funny. Goose mentioned it last week on the show, and I hadn't even heard of it. And then I just happened to pop it on. It seemed harmless. I mean, yeah, like he's being that guy professionally. Did you know? It's like, shut up. But it is informative though. It's interesting. Sometimes I do wish there was like a counterpoint section where it's like, he's talking about how you go to a car dealership and people pass laws, so only a dealership can sell cars that are new and this, that, and the other. And I just wish there was like maybe a counterpoint like segment of like, well, yes, this is true, but the reality is X, Y, Z. I enjoy it though. It is a good show. It's teaching you things and making it fun.
Yeah, he's gonna be in Philly December 1st. I'm thinking I'm gonna try and go to the show.
Is he gonna be funny or more informative?
It's a tour. It's I think the name is like Adam Conover and the Brain Parasites or something. It's essentially, so he was doing this kind of stuff on College Humor, and like he'd just do like, oh, here's 50 things you didn't like that what you know is wrong kind of deal, and like he'd talk about like Paul Revere doesn't make sense. Paul Revere was the only person to notify everyone in the colonies that
he had a really really loud voice. He invented the bullhorn.
So, or also it doesn't make sense for him to say like the British are coming, because most of the settlers especially in like Boston area, would have been identified as British citizens. Like we hadn't
warning
succeeded.
us that we're coming here.
Yeah,
we're
like,
already here. Like, this
right,
is
like,
my musket. Am I pointing it at myself? Is this
so
wrong?
There's some real good stuff. Like Adam Conover's pretty funny. So he also did like a game series at one point on YouTube. Like he has a YouTube channel. He did some stuff too. Okay. So, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching more of it. It's harmless. It's interesting. So yeah, it's one I kind of put it on the background when I'm playing some games. It's okay, really. That industry is shady. Thank you for telling me.
Everything is shady.
You look at everything is kind of shady. Think about it. You see that somebody apparently, I don't know if they're done or they're trying to replace the actor who played Han Solo in Solo with Harrison Ford.
Oh my god.
Using deep fake. I had not seen this yet.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. I
really like Solo. Like
I thought Solo was fun. I enjoyed it as well. Some of his cockiness was a bit undeserved, but it's fine. I mean, they had to remind you that he was Han Solo, even though he hadn't done anything to be cocky about yet. He still had to be cocky.
And also, the only reason his name is Solo is because he was traveling alone or whatever. Anyway, yeah.
Such a deep story.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
so deep.
Let's see what. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I feel like all these prequels and everything else is kind of like, I think Rogue One is the best thing that new thing they've done thus far.
I agree, and even though you knew the ending, if you watched the movies, it was really well done.
Thank you. See, and Tandy disagrees, and he's wrong, and we're gonna let him. Be wrong.
That's fine.
I'm just trying to think. Like, I liked 7.
7 was fun, but Rogue One was like to me. Rogue One was the best thing they've done so far. I mean, of the new stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's real good. I do like that they. I don't know if this is spoiler. I guess spoilers, just so people. I like that they kill
Oh yeah.
Like no, they're not like they haven't been magically hanging out in the background, and we're just learning about them now.
It made sense that they did.
They are dead. Like
yeah.
So, I also like that the bad guy in Rogue One is also the bad guy in Ready Player One.
Oh yeah.
I just realized. I just thought about that too. I'm like, he's totally the same. Like just kind of sniveling d-bag.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is true. I should watch that again. There were Battletoads in that movie. Battletoads.
There's a trivia thing where it like tells you everyone that's on the battle scene, and it's like
A billion different things.
I didn't see half of these people. Like I feel like I need to go.
Charlie Brown.
No.
I'm kidding. He wasn't on that.
I was like, wait.
Let's see what you would say.
Like, messed up.
No, I saw
Really?
Chucky.
He wasn't there.
So, I also don't understand how people don't get hit in that universe constantly by cars and whatnot. So, they're walking around with screens on their face. Like, we can't do it with a screen in our hand. These people literally have screens on their faces.
That's why Google Glass failed, because not enough people died. So. I don't know what that means.
Wow.
I mean, I guess, much like the space program, there are going to be lives to get us to virtual reality. Like, no.
Yeah. And the last thing is apparently Analog.
Did you buy one of these?
No, Analog is making. That's the company, right? Are they Analog? That's the name.
Analog is the name of the company. Yeah.
I'm making the Mega SG, which is basically a Sega Genesis that's akin to the Analog. What was it? The NT.
The NT and the Mini.
And the Mini. Yeah, but then what was the Super Nintendo one they made?
You were going to ask me that, and I'm going to say I don't remember.
So I didn't care about this at all. I was like, whatever. It's expensive. I mean, they're not doing the thing where they're like gutting. Because I remember the original ones, they were actually gutting Famicoms and gold plating them. And then that's why it cost like $800.
Yeah, $400 or $500 as a base to get in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. But
this is a deal.
Yeah, what caught my attention was, I'm not a big Sega Genesis guy. I'm like, whatever. But the fact that they come out with an adapter to play SG-1000 and Sega My Cards, not just because I have all 11 Sega My Cards for the US, but you can play the Japanese ones. I went, wait a minute. Now we're talking.
So this will be able to
Where do I throw my wallet? Okay.
This will be able to play those plus Master System plus Mega Drive or Genesis.
Yep.
So.
And all the My Cards. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that.
For the base price of $189.
Yeah, I don't know how much the adapter costs though. So.
Yeah, I don't know how much the adapter. That's why I said.
And it comes with no controller, which kills me. It's like this thing is almost $200. Give us a controller.
Probably not going to come with an AC adapter either.
Probably won't.
Like the PlayStation and whatnot.
It'll just be a broken USB cable in the box. Just like, what is this?
It is weird. It is weird. We're like, well, we still need to put the USB cable in, but not the adapter. Like, do you think I don't have a lot of USB cables around my house? Like,
a lot of assumptions going on. Everybody has that. No, not necessarily. Yes, I have like huge bins of cords that I've been, instructed to get rid of. But like, you never know when you're gonna need
exactly.
I don't know, like an old printer port to DVI cable. Who even knows what that does? But you can't throw it away.
A parallel port to DVI. What would that do?
I don't know.
What would a parallel port to DVI like?
But I own it. You never know when you just like, oh wait a minute, yeah, I do need this. Okay. USB hair dryer, whatever. You just. I was a Boy Scout. Be prepared. Or something like that. I don't know. I never won the Pinewood Derby, and it always pissed me off.
A lot of pent up.
Yeah, some rage. Yeah. Let's get into that voicemail.
Okay, let me just do that real quick. So, share sound system.
Sip on this water.
3, 2, 1. Good.
Hey, what's going on, GameEnthus crew? How are you guys doing? Shout out to you, brothers. This is Keon calling from Baltimore. It's been a while since I called in, but I just wanted to ask you fine people a quick question about XO, the event, XO18, the Microsoft event that's happening in November. My question to you guys is, do you think that we should temper our expectations? Because, Phil Spencer, he came out and talked a lot of jazz, brother, about what was going to be shown, and we got, not only first party, but third party is showing up. He also mentioned that was the time at one of the previous XOs where they had talked about, Rare had actually become part of the company. So I wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. Should we temper the expectations, or should we just let our whole mind run wild? People are saying that, Banjo-Kazooie 3 is going to be there. Obsidian Games is going to be there. That's where the announcement is going to take place. I mean, people are running wild. Heck, you know what? Uncharted is coming to the Xbox as well. I mean, good grief. May as well be the way people are talking. But just wanted to get you guys' opinion, along with Miss Lady Kosa as well. So with that being said, you guys out there listening, hit the like button. These brothers work very, very hard. And with that being said, you guys take care.
That just ended.
I think it's dope that he saw the tweet and decided to include the guest in the question. That is great, Keon. Thank you for doing that. Kosai, right. We've given you like 3 seconds to think about it, but
3 seconds? You know, lately I've been putting my expectations low, so I get excited for things. I've learned that from everything, starting from, you know, the Apple conference, the Google conference. All of them have been less than I expected. So I feel like maybe if we put our expectations down, maybe we'll be surprised, which would be rare nowadays since everything's
rare.
leaks.
I see what you did there. Banjo 3. Yep. I'm with you.
I got you. Love that game.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. I used to get really excited and hype myself up, and like you said, you get disappointed when you do that. And let's be honest. I mean, EXO, I'm sure there'll be some really good announcements. I had not heard any of the rumors about things like Banjo 3. Now, I'm fighting off the excitement, but I almost wish I didn't hear that. But, you know, think about every year with Phil Spencer, just like, hey, or the marketing of this is the most games ever, the best stuff. And it's like, it's been cool, but nothing earth-shattering. It's not like Uncharted on Xbox or... You know.
PlayStation All-Star is coming to Xbox One in 2019.
Guaranteed.
I mean, so you do have to temper, mostly because, like, okay, they will most likely announce this Obsidian purchase, because, like, that seems like a worst-kept secret.
Alpha Protocol 2 remake?
Oh, God.
I mean, maybe. But, like, if you look at the 5 ones they announced at EA or E3...
Fallout Reno? Sorry, go ahead.
Most of those studios have already released their big game for this year.
Yeah, they have.
Undead Labs did State of Decay 2, Playground will release Forza Horizon. Compulsion did We Happy Few. I mean, calling it a big game is probably generous, but
that game pretty much tanked, right? Or am I wrong?
I would guess.
Yeah.
Ninja Theory is doing that Vader content over on Oculus, so maybe they'll finally announce something for VR for the Xbox. Who knows? Like. But that's now owned by Microsoft. So all you have left is The Initiative, which was the brand new studio that they announced. So maybe they'll announce something there, and then, have...
What is The Initiative making? I don't even know.
The Initiative, this is from a Polygon article, the entirely new Santa Monica, California-based studio is headed up by Daryl Gallagher, former studio head for Crystal Dynamics of Tomb Raider fame. His charter at The Initiative to assemble world-class talent to create groundbreaking new game experiences. So in regular, like in plain language, what does that actually mean? We have nothing to announce at this time to tell you what we're making. We're trying to build up the team.
Breaking ground.
Like, we're building the team. The only thing that like really came out of that was I think someone was working on a Gears of Compulsion Games. The people that made We Happy Few were working on some kind of Gears related game, I think. I don't know.
No, was that the Chibi Gears thing, or is that something
different? Oh, God.
No, that's the Funko Pop Gears game, yeah. Wasn't that coming to mobile only?
Exactly. Why?
Just why?
Did you ask for a Kosa? Is this your fault?
No, I hope not. I'm sorry.
I would still love to play that Halo Mega Bloks game that came out, or that didn't come out, that was halfway through development one day. Like, I don't know. On the other hand, Call of Duty just did what I think Mega Bloks 2, and they're like, we're not releasing these for children. We know they're brightly colored toys, but they're not for children. So anyway, but we'll see. I don't know. Like they'll I think
your money. Okay.
Yeah, they'll do Obsidian. They'll maybe do what the Initiative's doing, and I don't know. Maybe they'll start the hardware cycle now. Like. They're like, Xbox One really hasn't really done it for us, so we're here to announce we're developing our new console, and it'll be out in the next 18 months.
Oh my God! I just feel like they should just focus on games. They don't have anything.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, why focus? I guess so. I'll play devil advocate there. Why focus on games on a platform that has okay penetration, but as compared to its competitor, like it's not doing like it's what 4-1 kind of deal.
Is that
so?
bad?
Like, what they're? I think it's 20 million to 80 million. 20
Jesus.
like it was.
That's a failure.
I think that's the. Well, I mean, 20 million consoles. No, I don't know if it's a failure, but that's what came out from the EA. I think it was like 20 something million.
I thought it was like 30. Wow, that's a lot.
That does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they started off pretty bad.
Like, I mean, yeah, they were never able to rebrand.
Nope.
So, that leaves 29.4 million Xbox Ones as compared to 73.6 million. This was PS4s at, when did Variety post this?
It's days like this I regret getting that Don Matrick tattoo.
There's no May 9th, 2018. So like maybe it is. Like, I mean, one of the things Microsoft struck gold with was releasing the 360 a year before anyone else got out there. So
yeah, but then they had Sony caught up at the end, but I mean 360 was, even with all the failures, it was flying pretty high.
It was. The UI was like the best part of the whole entire system.
When it finally loaded, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When it wasn't broken, but it was like the best part, and you can play with your friends, and it doesn't lag as much as the Xbox One had. The Xbox One, to me, every time I turn it on, I'm like, is this a computer? Are those ads? What's happening here? I don't want this.
Let me ask you a question. When you turn on your Xbox One, are there just times when you really don't have control over the UI for like 2 minutes?
Yes.
I just sit there like, and I have the
what's
X.
happening?
So I think Gersman was saying that too, and I'm like,
what are they doing?
I don't feel like I see that. I don't know. I guess my bigger issue right now is I have it running through a splitter, and if I don't have the TV on the whatever the HDMI switch for that, it'll automatically boot up in 640 by 480 mode, and then I have to restart the whole Xbox.
What splitter do you have?
Well, it's the Switch. So if the HDMI switch is not set to the Xbox does not detect a display, and it goes to the lowest, essentially its most common denominator.
Is it the HDCP thing, like saying, "Oh, we can't give you this content in HD. We'll give you." I think it's a handshake. I don't think it's HDCP. HDMI handshake is one of the biggest pains.
Gosh, yeah, but like, because it still shows up and whatnot. Like, you can still, but it's I have to restart and be like, oh look, now it's actually in the right resolution. But again, that's a very specific use case. I can't really be like, oh, I don't understand why you didn't think of my HDMI splitter. Oh,
I just once it gets going, it's okay. But I do feel like sometimes, like, why is this so clunky?
I feel the same way. I was like, I just don't understand why it's like this. Why they decided to do this. I don't.
Yeah. Are you using the original, the S, or the X? Which one are you using?
So I use the original, and then I'm using the Slim.
Okay.
So
I have the X, and it's still like, why would this? Like, it's supposed to be powerful. Like, what's the deal? Yeah. It feels like a flashback on the 360 where I used to turn it on, and I had so many games. The library would take 5 minutes to load. Like, I go make a sandwich.
To me, it's more like I just haven't been able to enjoy that console at all. And I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I prefer to have the Red Ring of Death 20 times than deal with this console.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Strong
give me
opinion.
Go through all the gauntlets down at the same time.
Just give me that. I'll deal with them. Just replace them, whatever. But just I can't with this console.
Well, I enjoy it, but I have to say, like, turning on the Switch is such a quicker. Like, I hit the button, it comes into my capture card. I'm just there playing the game in like 10 seconds. Once I'm in the game, it's okay, but the UI, sometimes it just doesn't even respond. I have to just turn it off. As I turn it on, it just sits there like, yeah, we're not going to let you do anything. You can just look at it.
So again, maybe they're going to
So I
announce.
just get the eye out of UI.
Like what Microsoft or Sony just came out and said, like, hey, yes, we have a plan for a new one. So maybe they're just gonna be like, yo, we have our Xbox successor and it'll be ready in the next 18 months.
Well, if they're streaming, I mean, they can get that. I don't know. They need exclusive stuff. You're gonna do all this stuff. Everybody's streaming something. I mean,
Well, but that's why you buy these 5 plus Obsidian, these 6 studios to like have them start making. But also, when you say exclusives, though, you mean Microsoft exclusives. Because like they're still going to keep, as far as we know, with that PC program they're doing, where it's like, hey, day and date, you'll have access to our games on both PC and Xbox.
True.
So, like, I guess that's a question of like, why, if you have a decent PC, why ever go buy another Microsoft console?
It's a tough sale.
So
It is.
Because if you like Forza, there you go. You don't need,
like
Yeah.
it's. I think Halo is the only like. Yeah, Halo, maybe certain Gears of War games are the only things really there
And
that aren't on PC.
Are they putting Halo 5 on PC? They keep the rumor like we aren't. Keep...
It's a good question. I mean, it's old enough now that like doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. And I wonder, like, I wonder what the financials of Game Pass are. That just, there's a lot of stuff on there. Like, there's a lot of value for $10 a month. I have to say, it's just, is it profitable though?
I mean, I'm sure there's a critical mass they have to hit, and like I guess we'll see if it continues past this generation.
Yeah.
So
I feel like they've definitely put out some worthwhile features and things, but they need to market the crap out of that thing, lest it just, go away. Because
I got a text this week from a buddy. He's like, "Hey, FE's on sale. Did you ever play this?" And it took me a while to remember. That's the EA, I think, Xbox exclusive.
no, I wasn't exclusive because they came out on Switch. I think it's out on Switch, not on PS4, but it was made by the folks who made
Isn't like Yarny like?
No, somebody else.
I thought that was an EA whatever. Like,
yeah, it was one of those
independent
EA things. Yeah,
that thing. Like it was made in the same.
Was it Image and Form? Or am I thinking of?
I don't think the
Because
start.
didn't Image and Form and another company like merge? Image and Form made
yes.
SteamWorld Dig, right?
They made SteamWorld Dig. I don't think they made FE.
Who made?
But also try to go search FE.
I know, right?
So FE game.
What was the studio?
Assume also means that stands for iron. It was made by Zoink.
Okay, Zoink. So the
Published
people
by
who
EA.
made Stick It to the Man.
That's what it was. Yeah, this is. Yeah,
What's the new one? Flipping Death,
Flipping
which is
Death?
really funny. I need to finish that game. I have it on Steam.
Anyway, we're totally off topic. So
Yeah, back to
so
the
Keon,
budget.
I hope that answers your
Yeah,
question.
so that's your question. Is
So.
Game Pass profitable? There we go. So. All right. Games we played. Kosa, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing WoW.
Really?
Yes.
In the expansion.
Yes, I'm
WoW,
playing.
WoW was a new game, right? I've never heard of this. What is it?
Oh, it's a new game. Yeah,
Okay.
it came out like a couple years ago.
Oh, just a couple. Okay.
It's a couple. I decided to jump on Battle for Azeroth because I got Legion, and Legion to me, like, it was kind of meh.
Mhm.
But after seeing a lot of videos on Battle for Azeroth, I'm like, I have to give it a try, and so far it's way better than Legion is. The story is way better. I'm enjoying it. I already like max level, but there's still so much stories and content that I have to go through. So it's pretty exciting.
So have you played it throughout, or you jump back in when there's a new expansion?
So I played WoW since Burning Crusade, which is the first expansion. And then I play inconsistently. Then I stopped for like years. And then I think it was one of my friends decided to jump on it. And I'm like, sure. And I bought all of them.
Okay.
Because there was nothing to play at the time. I really crave the MMORPG genre a lot, and there's not a lot of games that come out that are not Korean, which I have nothing against. I play arcade like hours. It's just it doesn't fill the void that I have. So jump back into WoW, and I'm having a lot of fun. My boyfriend plays it with me. So we play every night. We just go and do quests or try to get mounts. So we just, it's a good thing to just be able to go in and go out, and you're fine. Nothing is on fire when you leave.
So the expansions, you said you bought them all. So when you buy the latest expansion, that only gives you that content. You don't get any of the previous content?
No, you get the previous content.
Okay.
Yeah. Every expansion gives you the rest. But at the time, it was like, oh, well, now it's Wrath of the Lich King, so I would buy that. Instead of like being like, oh, let me wait a couple of years and then just buy one and I'll have all of them. No, I wasn't very smart, so it's
you
win.
bought them and then still didn't play them.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened.
Yeah,
it's a show full of things that
there's no judgment here.
No
judgment here.
So
yeah, that's cool. I downloaded WoW back when it first became like, hey, free to level 20 many years ago. Never launched it, and I stand by that. That's
never launched it.
Never launched it.
It's funny because a lot of my coworkers, I have a coworker like decided to quit WoW. Like he was in rehab from WoW, and then I was telling him like, oh yeah, no, I'm playing WoW now. And he's like, you are? And I'm like, yes. And then he's like, oh no, I don't think I can have that commitment. So many hours.
Like, you play WoW?
And then a week ago, he's like, I got in. Like he's like, I'm in. I'm playing.
You
got mount.
What was that? What was the super expensive? But like, I think it's $1,000 mount. It's either a Brachiosaurus or Brontosaurus with like an auction house on its back.
Oh yeah, that thing is massive. A lot of people have it. Like I've seen it.
Crazy people have it. Like
I saw that. I'm like, what is that? It doesn't even fit on the screen. Like, what is that? You can't even see yourself.
So what's the point then?
It's just massive.
I think they get a payout. Like if someone uses the auction house, the owner gets a portion of the cost. So like anyone can go do stuff in the middle of the wilds because now they have access to it.
Yes. It's just convenient.
Yeah. And also, GameEnthus listeners, remember, I'm looking for investors on that $600 ship on Star Citizen. So, just you could have your own turret.
Your own turret with your name on it.
Right, you could. I can't promise we can put the turret with the name on it, but you could have your own turret. So, no, I don't know. WoW's cool. Like, it'll run on anything now. So like, run. So.
Yeah, it's fun.
Not cell phones, or does it run a cell phone? I don't know.
I'm sure you could if you really put some effort to it.
I feel like you could.
Would that be worth it though?
I mean, is it always worth it? How many times we try to put Doom on different things? Like, oh look, this ATM runs. Doom. I'm never gonna play Doom on an ATM.
I can't get cash out that I need, but I can play Doom.
I mean, really, what's a better option? Doom.
That's also true.
Oh,
sorry. We kind of took over there. Sorry, Kyle, closer. Go
ahead. The other game that I've been playing is Super Mario Party. So, haven't played a Mario Party since like the first one for Nintendo 64. Wow. You can judge. That's fine.
Was that the thumb blistering one where you had to like?
Yes. Okay. Go spin it.
Did you get the gloves they sent out?
No. No, I did not.
I didn't either. So.
But the game is really fun. It's super easy. Like I feel like they made it super easy. Like anyone can play this game. Like I could probably grab my mom and it's like, hey, can you play this game? And she'll be fine. And she doesn't like playing games.
And she beat you.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Actually, I would be surprised if she didn't.
Are you really competing against each other, or is it like the game itself?
It has a lot of modes, so you can compete with each other, but you can also like team up with each other. So I mostly play with my boyfriend just to unlock all the characters, and we can play this Mario Party in pairs. Okay. So we'll be together, and then we'll put two computers against us, and then like every time you the dice rolls, it counts for both of you. So let's say I roll a 3 and he draws a 2, then we both move 5 steps.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of interesting. Like, I actually like it. I prefer it. It's just that you can gang up on a computer easily. It'll probably be funnier with 4 people.
You have to have Joy-Cons too, right?
Yes.
You can't play without them. So
Yeah. So
I don't like playing with Joy-Cons.
yeah, it's a little uncomfortable. I noticed that there's but the way they made the games is like you probably won't get a cramp out of this game. Like you won't be holding it like this, the one controller all the time. So it's kind of good.
I'm all about that pro controller.
Yeah. So other than that, I'm trying to finish up Persona 5. It's taking me like 8 months to finish this game. It's fine though. I'm good. Okay.
Put on those masks, crush those cars, shoot somebody in the head. So,
that's all you have to do. That's all at the same time.
In tandem. Just like, I've won.
And I got back to Pokemon Go because of the new Pokemon game that's coming out in November.
Don't encourage Tiny.
Do it.
Yes.
Telling you.
They just released the Sinnoh region that was
Sinnoh region.
4
Yep.
Pokemon. Like
Start catching Sinnoh region Pokemon. So there's an event this weekend, guys. Go get your Beldums. Shiny Beldum.
No idea what you're talking about. It's funny. I actually left my desk at work and went to go get a smoothie. I didn't buy a smoothie. We just walked up the street.
Whoa, flag on the field.
Yes.
Who'd you go to get a smoothie with?
Some coworkers.
I don't believe it.
I knew you would say that. You sound like my wife. You feel justified now, right?
Great minds think alike. So.
And we were walking by, what was it, GSA? Like a GSA headquarters? And all these people were outside. And I was on the phone actually doing some work stuff because somebody called me about something work related. And my coworker was like, I think they're playing Pokemon Go. I was like, why? Like, what? How was it just look weird? I've never seen like a bunch of professional people outside.
It's kind of funny because here in Miami it's kind of, I didn't think it was that big until I went to one of the universities here, and it's huge. They literally had to split us up in colors. And by the way, I'm team like Instinct, which is the yellow one that no one fucking plays. So like,
you were by yourself, like
no. The fact that I was able to form a team with just Instinct is amazing.
Why does nobody want that team?
I don't know. Everybody likes red and blue. Yellow is kind of like that yellow color. Kind of looks like pee, just don't want it. But it's actually pretty intense. I've never seen anything like this before. They have a Discord, and you can just go in and basically set up. They will send you like when the egg hatch and what it's gonna be, and I'm like, what? This is a completely different world than what I was used to with Pokemon Go.
I was listening to Giant Bomb, and I think Jan was saying something about people getting like really territorial about things.
Oh yeah,
but isn't there something for everybody there?
So no, not necessarily. There is the concept in Pokemon Go of nests, and that will generate pretty much an indefinite. But if you're not at a nest, and like you don't know as a player, nests don't surface to you. But this is how they generate Pokemon on their map. How Niantic does it. But if you don't, like if there's a rare Pokemon or whatever, there are only going to be a number of spawns for people to get. And then oh my god, it might be a shiny one. Which the only difference between a regular Pokemon and the colors change slightly.
Yes.
A slight color change. Well,
slight color change.
It's literally Malibu Stacy with a new hat. Like that's it.
Unless it's a Zapdos and all you get is sparkles, okay?
Right. Like
that's it.
It's
sparkles.
Right. It's
just
new,
sparkles.
so they must have it.
It's all that matters.
So it's like shiny Pokemon have no different stats to the regular counterparts. They're just a slightly different color. But on the other hand, maybe you want to put a Pip-Plop, which was an awesome starter Pokemon, a water starter Pokemon.
What? Could you repeat that again?
Pip-Plop.
Sure.
It's it's a little like bird, like kind of penguinish looking thing. Like it actually turns essentially into like an emperor penguin. as it gets bigger, like as it evolves. But it was the water starter in Generation 4.
Yes.
Which was which game?
Black and white,
Black and white. Yeah.
I want to say.
You guys are nerds.
Wow.
Nerds!
Hey, how's your unopened amiibo collection in the background, buddy?
You leave me alone. Yes, I have 2 little Macs. Don't judge. we all have our things. Okay.
So
You were caught in Gen 4. Yeah.
well, I had to. Anyway, whatever.
Was Gen 3 Diamond and Pearl?
No, actually, no. This is Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
Actually, no. This is Diamond. So it's okay. Now you've asked a question.
Yeah. Now you open a can of worms.
Red, blue, yellow.
I gotta go.
Red, blue, yellow, which then goes. That's Gen 1.
Mm-hmm.
Gold, silver, crystal, Gen 2.
Mm-hmm.
Fire red, leaf green are the remakes of the original. So this would be Game Boy Advance. First Game Boy Advance ones were. Oh my god, I'm failing. I feel bad. It's in my head. This is Diamond and Pearl, yeah.
Yes, it is.
So,
Diamond. Yep. Yeah.
This is Diamond and Pearl. So 3. What would 3? 3 would have been Game Boy Advance.
That was an
Emerald. The other one was
Emerald,
Sapphire, and Emerald.
Sapphire and Emerald. Yeah, because they had that then got remade on 3DS.
And was called what?
Something Ruby and
Omega Ruby.
Yeah, Omega Ruby
Alpha Sapphire. I don't know.
So yeah, which is weird. I played those games. Like
They were clearly memorable.
well, it's not. I don't care. I don't care about the names. Like
Yeah, I know.
like when I think about Pokemon, it's more like cool. I remember I was telling someone else this story. In high school, because I went to a cool high school, we played Pokemon in homeroom because that's what math and science nerds do. So like I remember having Pokemon Yellow, and then I remember someone stealing my Game Boy, and then I remember finding that person.
Kind of too cool for my Game Boy in high school, so yeah.
I feel like. Well, I mean, obviously the Game Boy would have been out when you were in high school because it came out in 1989, but like it would have been pretty new for you. I'm making fun of you as being old. That's what it's like. So
I had one in. Well, did it come out like in April of '89? Because I didn't get mine until like the fall.
I want to say it was like a rolling release.
I was raking leaves on a Friday night trying to get that last $5. My dad was like, "Okay, son, it's pouring rain. Like, okay, I'll give you the $5." Toys R Us slope, get in the car. I think I think I actually jumped through the glass window. I jumped through the window. Let's go. Son, you're all cut up. I don't care. Let's go to Toys R Us.
That's fine. We can sit in the emergency room, but I'm gonna have a Game Boy with me.
Exactly. And
I can't avoid batteries, but
I played Tetris for like felt like months. That's all I had. Tetris.
Yeah. I remember when I got I think it was Pokemon Gold. I just remember that I wanted that game so bad, and because I was in Venezuela, that's where I lived the majority of my time. We don't get those games until like 10 years later, and they're super expensive. So my dad will come here and then get them, and then I will be able to play them. But my dad didn't want to get me a Pokemon game because I was obsessed with it. Pokemon Red. So I had a problem. So what I did is I knew a guy in the building that his mom would bring a bunch of games and just sell it there. Mm-hmm. And I told him, okay, I'll give you the money if you give me Pokemon Go. And then he's like, sure. It cost me so much money. I had to save for so long. I didn't eat for weeks.
Was it worth it?
It was totally worth it. But then my dad... Yes. But then my dad found out and gave me a beating for being stupid. Like, why are you not eating? I can, Pokemon.
It's so yellow and gold.
Aaron, you don't understand, though. Pokemon Gold and Silver, you'd beat the game, like you'd get through the Elite Four and whatever, and then the whole region from the first Pokemon, from Red and Blue, opened up.
Yep.
Oh,
this is like
that was
this
stuff
is the thing
that
that
Satoru
Iwata
Iwata
worked
did.
on. Yeah, this is stuff Iwata worked
the
on.
compression
And now,
technique.
granted, yeah, it's a consolidated, let's say, a not as detailed version of Kanto. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's and this is something you didn't know. Like they were like, oh wait, here's a ticket, and you're like, where does this ticket take me? And you go back and like, yo, go beat those gym leaders from the original game.
Yep. And he was like, oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, it was good. I love that game.
See, my Pokemon, I started on an emulator. And this is the only time my parents, like, I love my parents, and I should say that, like, this is going to sound, the only time my parents ever bought, like, a console or anything is they bought me that Game Boy, the Pikachu Game Boy. Because they're like, yeah, your friends are playing, you should probably be able to play with them, too. I'm like, okay.
I like the way you think, Mom and Dad.
Well, yeah, like, otherwise, I'm just going to keep playing this emulated version of Blue up on my computer. I'm fine. So, I can have whatever Pokemon I want.
So
True.
Costa, I have to ask you, growing up in Venezuela, what were the popular the consoles that were popular there when you were growing up?
It was literally PlayStation 1. Everybody had a PlayStation 1, and if they didn't, they had a Nintendo 64.
Okay.
So those were the two main consoles. It was very rare if you saw someone with like a Sega Genesis. Yeah,
Okay.
and if you did, you knew that guy had money. Like his family's loaded. Like there was no way you could have gotten that console. Yeah.
I would have figured that the PlayStation and N64 would be way more expensive. That's interesting.
Yeah, apparently people were able to get a hold of the PlayStation 1 easier than any other. So.
And I guess I would assume, let's say, being able to pirate on that console, which was relatively easy, would probably have reinforced, like, hey, yeah, if this is the one I can get all the games for and burn and whatnot, like,
oh my god,
this is going to be the popular one.
They burned so many games. There were people selling it in the street. That's how much they burned games for the system, for the console. Hey. There was no person that had the actual game.
Yeah, like if they're not feeding the market, like this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
that's what's up. All right. Expensive games.
Very.
It's funny that when people put up old ads in like Toys R Us and you look at old Super Nintendo games, they were like $80.
Yeah.
That's not like that was in the U.S., let alone elsewhere. That's crazy. And we complain about horse armor that we all bought. I didn't buy.
Well, the funny thing is, like, they would justify it by like, oh, it has more memory in this cartridge. That's why it's more expensive.
Sure.
So I don't know. It's the people. I was actually one of the guys at Mindfair with me. He's like, he's a couple, actually, probably significantly older than me. But he's like, I remember when Blockbuster was clearancing out Earthbound, like the box copies.
I wish I would have.
Man, like I hear all these stories about like people getting Earthbound for $10.
Virtual Boys at Toys R Us for like $20.
Oh my god!
I got 3 of them. I didn't know, so.
The dream. Yeah, exactly. And now, like, that's not going to happen. So, but anyway.
I was on eBay looking at a copy of Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper for the Game Boy Advance. And I had that. I don't know what I did with it.
I thought you were about to say you were looking at the homemade Street Fighter for Virtual Boy.
What?
Have you not? Oh. I'll send you a video demo of this. It's essentially Street Fighter 2.
Can you jump into the background?
No, it's not like there's not. I don't believe there's any Virtual Boy functionality like other than it's only red and black. But this was like an Atari Halo 2600 release. Anyway, we are so far off.
Yeah, we really are. You have some other games on your list here, Kosa.
Oh yeah, so don't know if you guys heard of. It's a mobile game. I've been playing a lot more mobile because like if I'm at work, I don't have time for anything other than my phone. So there's a game that's called Dragalia, and it's basically a Nintendo game.
This is the new Nintendo mobile game.
Yes, it is so
like
beautiful.
Like from Nintendo.
Yes.
What is it? But what?
It's kind of like an RPG. It has a story.
Okay.
But I love the art for it. Not only that, but like the characters, you can move them around. You go into these dungeons and then you defeat a monster. But everything has a story, and the story part of it is voiced, which is like shocking for this kind of game.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it does have like dailies that you just unlock some daily stuff. You get a couple, it's like gems,
How much
and you
money
can
did you
summon.
spend?
I spent $0.
I'm
Zero.
proud of you. Good. Keep going.
Yes. So you can summon special characters, but then you get characters as you progress the story.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the whole concept of it. It's basically like this kingdom that has the king has 7 kids, and the last son kind of like it's just there, not minding his own business, right? Like he knows that he's not gonna get a kingdom on his own because all of his, siblings have gotten something power and a kingdom of their own. But he's so young, he's not gonna get anything. So the king sends him into this journey of like you need to make a pact with a dragon.
As you do.
As of course we all should make a pact with a dragon.
That's the goal.
in order to see what's going on with the kingdom, which is being attacked by a bunch of monsters. So the story is, to me, is really good so far for what I played, and I played a lot. Sometimes I'll be just playing, and I notice how long I've been playing this game, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should stop. It does give you like MP bars, which you have to wait until it regenerates again, just like any other mobile game. But it's not as tedious as other mobile games that I played before. Like I played the Fire Emblem one and other games that are just like you just have to wait so long. But yeah, that has been me basically.
I thought I've heard of it, but I've never really seen it. That's interesting, and it's free.
Yeah, and the way I found out about it was I was on Instagram, and Justin Won, the Street Fighter player that plays a bunch of fighting games, he put a picture on it, and I'm like, that looks beautiful. What is it? And I downloaded it, and I just fell in love with it. I'm like, every time he posts anything with a new game on his mobile, I always like check it out because it's always a good game.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you spent no money on this.
No money, zero money.
I don't know if you played it a lot. I don't know. You're abusing the system. Okay. You want all your money, all of it.
I'll just put it down. I put the phone down for a little bit, do something else, and then come back and keep playing.
So is it like you get gems or something?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You get like gems, and then basically the MP bar fills up as you wait. Yeah.
Hey, but you've avoided spending money. That's the goal right there.
Yeah. So it's pretty good.
Cool beans. I might have to download it. It's free.
It's free.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, are
Yo.
you ready?
Yeah, I can make this work. Sorry, anyway, dumb stuff. So The World Ends With You came out on Switch last week.
I've heard.
And this was a great game on DS, and I even heard, I think the mobile version wasn't that bad. So now it's up on Switch. It is a game that you should primarily play in mobile, or like not docked mode, because it wants you to be touching the screen. If you play it in dock mode, you have to use a Joy-Con as like a Wiimote to do a lot of the like, drag here, drag there kind of stuff, which is super weird. Like, I don't know why you would build the game to be that, but I'm still playing through it. Like, I'm essentially, you're a kid in Shibuya, and you get pulled into this murder game, essentially, and if you don't complete these missions, you'll be erased. And there are over 7 days, there will be 7 missions. And, like, you partner up with someone, and that's the only way you can stay alive. Because that's the only way you can use your power. So, like, you're going through, and you're trying to figure out how to get through this. So, like, it's like any of, like, the young adult stuff going on right now. Like, the Maze Runner or whatnot. But, hey, what if that happened in downtown Shibuya? the art's beautiful in it. Like, I would check it out. I think it was $40 on Switch. Like, yo, go pick it up.
It's practically free.
I mean, yeah,
giving it away.
The weird thing is, I don't know. Like, is this gonna actually like sell well? Like, I don't know. It's super weird. Like, it was a super niche game on both DS that like it started getting recognized as like a hidden gem kind of deal. So like, I'm sure there's gonna be people that pick it up because of that. But like, this is a JRPG with some action points to it, where you're playing as a teenager in modern day in Shibuya fighting monsters and completing missions. Like, it's maybe doesn't really fall into that standard archetype kind of deal.
It's very relatable.
Yeah, no. Very, the Venn diagram, huge, like huge overlay. Like... So anyway, yeah, I'm still playing through it. I'm enjoying it. Last night I got on Twitch and I played through Pokemon Snap because that game is awesome, and I wish Nintendo would make a new Pokemon Snap. They've had 2 great consoles to make it on. Wii U would have been awesome, and the Switch, it would be great. So, but they keep saying they're not going to make a Snap until they have like some real driving factor for it. But
money?
Yes, because the Pokemon Company is the people that are really hurting for that cash. Those people, like, again, you referenced Giant Bomb earlier. They mentioned Pokemon is secretly like we talk about Minecraft and whatnot selling some crazy amount. Pokemon eclipses it easily because it just sells in the background. People, like, we talk about Nintendo games don't go down. If you want to go buy a Pokemon game, most Pokemon games are still their original value or higher, because once they go out of print, people still want to go back and play and like get those specific Pokemon if there are like specific to that game. So like, but Pokemon Snap's great. Like, it's a fun, like, you're going through this island, these different courses essentially. You're a photographer. You take pictures. Professor Oak judges the pictures, and mostly he's like, is it in the center? Are there any other extra Pokemon? Cool. Here's my random number I'm going to throw out. Did you harass the Pokemon in this one? Good stuff.
Should I?
It's like, well, so in the game, you get given these items. The first one, you get Poke Food, which looks like an apple. Just throw that, like, you get unlimited. So you throw that at every Pokemon that you see. Like, will you do something? Then he gives you something called a Pester Ball, which is literally like a smoke grenade you throw at the Pokemon.
Okay.
And like, they might cause some of them to evolve, or so like,
suffocate.
if you see a
Die.
Pokemon, somewhat like, if you see a Pokemon going around a pool, either lava or water, hit that Pokemon with a solid object, because once it falls in, it's going to evolve into something else. Like, that's 100% what that game's telling you.
Even
so,
in
like,
the lava.
Well, so Charmander is the Pokemon. It's the second form of the Charizard, or Charmander, Charmeleon. Charmeleon's going around. If you hit the Charmeleon into the lava, he evolves into Charizard. So that's what he does. Or there's a victory bell. Anyway, it's a lot of Pokemon. But it's just like, you see those things, or like throw them in random things to see if Pokemon will pop out. So it's a great game. Like, you should, maybe Aaron, you should stop by my Twitch channel every once in a while. Like, maybe you could watch me. I play it like every 3 months or something.
You really do. I own the game. I've played it before.
Like, it's a lot of fun. And then the last thing, I also played Super Mario Party. I had only remembered it like about 10 minutes ago, because I played it by myself as a depressing person who played a Mario Party by himself. And I played the shortest game possible. And I don't know, like, I bought that game. I bought that game explicitly, and I'm supposed to play it this weekend with friends. I want to see what the 2 Switch mode works like, because in my head, I have just given it such like technical prowess that it's magic.
I thought there were 2 games that could be played that way too.
I think so.
Okay.
So, but like, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's somehow tracking all of this, and it's 100% going to be some dumb gimmick. But like,
yeah.
it's this idea. Like one of them is like there's a tank game where like kind of combat style, but there's 4 players, but your tank can go across the 2 screens. So and your shots can as well. So yeah, we'll see. I look forward to playing more of it.
So when we Nintendo pull out Advance Wars.
They have Fire Emblem, so they're never going.
That's the problem. Intelligent Design. Intelligent Design makes both of those games, and they're never going to not make Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Though I would imagine the last Fire Emblem didn't sell super well.
Wow.
It was probably. It just doesn't seem like it set the world on fire. I guess like when you think about. Do you remember the Fire Emblem before this one was the one me and Linux left MagFest to go like?
Yes, I remember. He was very excited.
And it was the one that came out. It was 2. So it was Pokemon style. There were 2 games, and then there was a 3rd game that you could buy as DLC that let you tell the story from essentially a 3rd-party perspective. And like that was Emblems, and then the last one that came out was Memories or Fates. I forgot which one. Or Fire Emblem, that had to be Fate, so this was Memories. And, like, I just don't feel like I hear a lot of people talking about it. Like, I think I hear more people talk about the iOS game.
I just feel like you also need a lot of time for that game. And they keep coming up with these games way too fast. I don't think anyone can finish a game before the new one comes out.
Yeah, I think that, I agree. I think you're 100% right.
So why would I buy it if I haven't finished, and then I can wait and get it cheaper?
It's a good question, because I mean, not to be like Aaron, I have played almost none of the latest Fire Emblem game, but I 100% own it. So, like, I was just like, I played so much of Fates that like, why would I want to? Like, I can't go back. Can't go back. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, those were most of the games I've been playing. Honestly, I can't think of anything else that I was playing. I mean, I played some more Overwatch. But hey, Overwatch is good. We're in the middle of the Halloween special event. I want those skins. So let's play more Overwatch. So, but yeah. Aaron, what about you, sir?
I've been playing some Zarvat on the Switch. I've seen this game for a couple of years at, I think, MagFest, maybe at PAX. And it was always the multiplayer mode where you're like these little boxes that shoot lasers and stuff. I didn't realize there's a whole like campaign, there's a whole like single player story and a lot of dialogue and some cleverly written dialogue. There's a lot in this game. So
I saw you posted. Yeah, I saw you post like there's a single player game.
Yeah, I was like, there's a lot of stuff in this game. I was very taken aback by that. So it was in a good way. So there's boss battles and stuff. So I thought I was gonna just jump in and maybe like, fight some AI or whatever and blow something up, but there's a lot in it, so it's interesting. At some points I felt like maybe there's like too much story, like I want, but I guess that's not. Oh, it's not really a bad thing. It's just not what I expected. So I don't know. It's out now, I guess, on the Switch. So Zarbot. I played a bunch of The Missing, J.J. McField and the Island of Memories. This is a sweary joint, I believe. It's on Steam and Switch. I don't know if it's on PS4, Xbox One or not, but this game is weird. Like, you start off and you're JJ. You're a girl and like you're with your friend. I don't know if she's your friend or her girlfriend or what. They don't make it plain, but you can go either way with it, really. And somehow, like, it's a sweary game, so it's weird. So all this weird stuff happens, and then
how many cat girls are in it?
None so far.
Okay, so it's not D20 whatever or
D4.
Was it D4? What was the one that Tim played through Extra Life so many years ago? The one that only had 2 of the episodes come out.
Yeah, it was D4.
Oh,
that game
D4?
was
okay.
Fantastic, by the way. That was a really good game. It's a shame that's pretty much it. And then like your friend Emily disappears, and the whole like gameplay mechanic is like you can die, but you have to get hurt in order to solve the puzzles. So you'll have to like get hit by a wrecking ball or like
as you do.
have your legs
Normal
ripped off.
life.
Yeah, like have your like walk into like barbed wire and it like rips your arms or your legs off. And you might have to throw your arm at a box to make it fall for another puzzle. And then my 9-year-old came over during one of the more tranquil parts of the game with the wrecking ball actually. And I was stuck in a part where the wrecking ball had to hit you and then it would make the world upside down. You had to like do something and then you can just hold down the X button to sort of fix yourself. You can, her bones come back together and she's fine. And I kind of looked to the side, I was doing something else, and then she just blew past the puzzle I've been stuck on for like 15 minutes. And I was like, do you know what you did? She was like, no. Like, well, the important thing is that you did it. So then we got to this part where you're in this church and you have to like throw rocks at these white owls to make them fly through stained glass windows so light comes in. But then if you interact with like the gray owls, they'll fly off screen and then zoom and fly into you as fast as possible and they rip you apart. Now you can be torn apart to a point where like your arms fall off, legs fall off, like you're just a torso. But then even beyond that, you can be like, I think it's like just your head. You can still kind of make some progress.
So is this like the knight from like
it's
from Knights of the Holy Grail or whatever, Monty Python? Like, yeah, I'm gonna bleed on you.
Well, that's the thing. Like, in order like to move faster, you want to just hold down the X button so you can just fix yourself and keep going. So it's interesting. Sometimes it can be a little framey,
Gotcha.
but it's interesting.
The
Missing. It's a sweary game. That's I can tell you that much. It's a thing. I put up I've been doing these Let's Plays as of late because doing traditional reviews, I just don't have time anymore. I don't have time to like play a game for like 8-10 hours, capture all the gameplay, write the script. I mean, it takes a long time to put those together. I enjoy doing it, but I need to find a way to get out more content faster. So the cheapest and laziest way to do it is just doing a Let's Play. So I put up a Let's Play for was it Predator 2 for the Master System. I think you enjoyed that one.
Well, yeah. What was that? Telederp or?
Oh, the password Rotoderp.
Rotoderp. Oh yeah. Like what?
Oh, Robbie Tiffany one that tweeted about it too. So yeah, Rotoderp that's the password for level 2 or 3. I never played a Predator 2 for the Genesis. That one is different. That has more of an isometric view, whereas for the Master System, it's just straight, side scrolling. And these guys are in the windows, and you can't shoot at them. You can shoot every enemy except the people in the window. You have to throw a grenade at them, which is so annoying. I don't understand that, but yeah. But I put another one up today for Sinner, Sacrifice or Redemption, which is basically like Dark Souls without levels. You just go right up to the bosses, and you have to sacrifice something before you can fight them. Like you have to sacrifice like some of your attack power or speed, or if you because it's like a Souls, I don't say Souls ripoff, but it's very Souls inspired. You have a stamina meter, so you might have to sacrifice like, hey, if you run out of stamina, you just collapse until it comes back, which is crazy because it's just boss battles, but they're impossible. So, well, to me, I'm not good at Souls games. I don't know what the win button is yet in those games, so I'm just not good at them. What else? The Memory of Us. I'm playing that on PS4. That's an adventure game. It's solving, pretty simple environmental puzzles and things like that. But there was a bug I ran into today when I was playing it where you have to push these boxes. You're on a rooftop. You have to push these boxes up against the wall. You can jump on the box to get to to get to the other part of the roof, and then you run over to like a trigger, like a button. The girl can press a button so the boy can, because the girl can jump, the boy can sneak.
Okay.
No, can they both jump? No, they both can jump. I'm sorry. The girl can run, the boy can sneak. So you have to press a button so a gap fills in so you can run across. There's a bug where if I go up to the machine, either character would get sucked back to the box that I moved on the other screen. And it's the weirdest thing. So I need to like email them like, yeah, you have a pretty bad bug that I can't get by. So they emailed me today. Is your coverage up here? I'm thinking, you gotta fix this bug. Like, we all have a job to do here. I put the games, you fix the bugs. It happens. It's just annoying because it was a part where I had to start over a lot, and then actually watching my character like get sucked back to another part. Like this can't be part of the game. What else? I'm playing Skyscrapers on Switch. So it's sort of like a fighting game, but you just want to jump. Like this debris is falling down from a building. You want to jump on the debris to get up to the top of the building first. But you can kind of use some pretty basic fighting move to hit the other enemy, so you can stall them out while you're jumping and getting up higher to get to the top. It's fun, but it feels like the combat's kind of half-baked. Like you press a button, and they may or may not actually attack. It's I don't know if it's laggy or if there's like a cooldown or what, but it just feels like the combat's kind of sluggish. So, but the jumping is fun.
Okay.
Because the steeper the object you jump off, the further up it sends you. So, it's interesting. Had some family over the weekend. Played a bunch of Brawl Out on the Switch. And, one of many Smash.
That's the Smash. Yeah, that's the Smash Brother like
kind of thing. It finally clicked with me. I finally got a much better sense of how that game works. I was enjoying it quite a bit, and I won, so that also helps. So yeah, when you beat a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old, that's when you gloat. You all suck. I'm good. You lost. Oh, I got into the Project Stream beta.
Oh, did you?
Played a little bit.
Lucky.
And it's not. And people assumed I like got some kind of press thing. Like, who am I? I just went to the website and just applied.
Yeah,
like just the regular.
It's like luck or something.
Yeah. Have you all tried?
I
haven't tried yet. I found out like a couple minutes ago about it.
I was like, just try it out. I just found the link. I can find it again. It works really well. I mean, no, it doesn't look as good as it would look if it was running on my machine natively. But in terms of like lag, like the combat felt like the timing to like parry and everything else, it felt fine. Like it worked, it's legit. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's kind of scary though when you think about you have a lot of people who are saying they don't like buying digital games, you don't really own it. So now companies like Limited Run and Super Rare are trying to make all these digital games, release physical releases for them, which is interesting. But if streaming is the way that things are going to eventually go, you really won't own anything.
I mean, but even with those, like, are those final patched versions on the like Limited Run stuff?
Oh yeah, well that's my one little kind of
like,
yeah.
I never it's cool. So I was thinking about this because I was looking at Lego Dimensions, like I do, and I bought when Best Buy decided to clearance everything out. I bought the Harry Potter and all that stuff, and I was wondering if I update Lego Dimensions to the latest version before they, like, Warner Brothers hasn't announced anything, but they'll probably take it offline eventually. Mm-hmm. That should have the content for the boxes I don't feel like opening right now.
Okay.
Because I don't think it doesn't make sense from a development standpoint to make forks like, oh, if they bought this character but not this playset but this character, like, why not just get everyone the content and then as they activate it? So I'm kind of hoping that'll work. We'll see, because I don't really feel like opening this stuff. Like, I figure if my nephew ever wants to play it, hey, great, it was $10 or whatever. But yeah. Yeah, I get with those kind of physical releases. Like, if they update it, it's not like.
Well, if you notice, they're never like Snake Pass is the one I'm getting emailed about from Super Rare. I'm pretty sure Snake Pass has all the updates it's gonna get.
Fair.
They never do things like a month after they're out. It's like a year. So.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's nothing like day and date kind of deal.
Yeah. But I still do question. I don't know. I like making fun of, not making fun of, but just people who are like, I can't buy anything digital. It's like, get over it. Let's just buy it digital. Like, I mean, so.
Excuse me.
Luigi's Mansion on 3DS, which is fun. I love Luigi's Mansion. Good stuff. And a new build for RetroPie for the Odroid came out. So I'll hook that back up. And it works the LCD screen. So whenever you change emulators, it changes the image and everything. So I don't know. I'm having fun with that. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
So, and that's pretty much it for me.
Good stuff.
I put a bunch of stuff down here. I don't know. Do we want to talk about the Rockstar Crunch thing, or?
I mean, we. Do you want, like? I don't know if how anyone missed it, but like, hey, Dan Houser was talking to some Variety or something. I forget where it was.
Yeah, I don't remember what the outlet.
And
was.
said like, hey, we have people working 100 hours, and then went back and clarified and said, well, it's the writing team. This is how we work. No one's being forced. But even in their clarification, it was weird because they're like, no one's forced to work hard.
Here's your turtle alive and well.
Like, yeah, like it's just a real weird statement to come from Rockstar, who were traditionally like they don't
do interviews.
They were kind of a walled off studio. So it goes so far as I think last night Rockstar gave permission to all their employees, like essentially released them from the clause that said, hey, you can't discuss Rockstar on social media or with the press or whatnot.
Now, was this something they were going to do anyway, or just because of the controversy that stirred up for the 100-hour thing, they're like, yeah, let's get ahead of it?
Yeah, I would imagine it was more. So let's put it this way: you have this quote that may have been taken out of context, but in the current climate, we're discussing like, hey, we need to talk about how to do good work-life balance and all that stuff. You now have the only operators that probably are going to be out there that are going to talk are going to be the people that had bad experiences working at Rockstar, and there are plenty that have come out in the past. And like, there's a book someone wrote about Rockstar games and how they developed Grand Theft Auto, where like Dan Houser, the Houser brothers and whatnot said like, hey, we're not going to contribute, and it's all based off of essentially third-party stories from like former employees. So like, they're going to be the people that are going to go get interviewed. So if Rockstar wants to try to get in front of this, like, hey, let your employees say what's going on, and hopefully it'll be more good than bad, which is what it certainly seems like it is from seeing the tweets. But there are still issues. Like, Rockstar is
always
like, yeah. Anyway, so it's interesting because you don't want, like, Crunch sucks. Like, and it was weird. Like, so when we talk about like working in IT now and security now, and then working in games before, like the company I worked for, the developer I worked for, tried to avoid crunch as much as possible. Like, they wanted everyone out of the building by 6 p.m. Like, there's no reason to stay late unless, like, we are, like, if you're in submission, there might be lates because you're waiting for West Coast people to respond back. But, like, that was it. Like, they tried their best. And crunch generally happens when you either have poor project management or promises made by people that don't know what they're talking about for commitments to, like, marketing plans and whatnot. And like, oh, hey, we can't actually get this working. Well, cool, you're going to spend the rest of your life here for the next 4 months because we can't push back our commercial plan to, like, all the magazine ads and the bus ads and all this stuff all say this is coming out this day. Like, we can't change everything. So there's definitely, like, and you look at, like, you hear about Telltale and they were just in perpetual crunch from game to game. And, like, it sucks. Like, you don't want that. Like, that's not what anyone should want. But on the other hand, and, like, I know I'm a terrible example for this. I can't remember the last time I ever worked a 40-hour work week. Like, that's never been the standard in my life. Like, if you say, like, 50, 60 hours, cool. That's, like, what I do. And it's because I don't, like, again, have the responsibilities that other people have. So... But yeah, it's an interesting one. So
Yeah, it was good to get more context about that than just the 100-hour thing, which you can take that and run with it. But was that really indicative of what was really going on?
So,
yeah. What do you think, Kosa?
I mean, I feel like that's common nowadays, where they start using crunching as a way to just meet, a quote or something that you're supposed to be doing. I don't know if what they meant was, oh, we work 100 hours, but they rotate people. That's very, very possible. There's security operations centers that work 24/7. It doesn't mean that the person works 24/7. They rotate. So it was probably taken out of context, but it wouldn't be weird if they were working 70 hours a week instead of just 100, one person. And nowadays, some companies don't even take into consideration that back in the day, you used to have that lunch hour, it would be paid for. Nowadays, it's not. So instead of working 8 hours a week, you're working 9. And that 1 hour, you don't get paid.
True.
So it's just, it doesn't really just apply to gaming. It applies to every other career, network engineers, anyone.
True.
But they do use crunch as an excuse of like, oh, slavery. We're getting all this labor. And we don't know the circumstances. Maybe they're paid hourly. You don't know that.
And that's the thing. Some of the stuff that's come out today is like, or they do play overtime and time and a half and whatnot. But from what some of the stuff I was reading, that's for contract workers, which is great. If you're a contract worker, have fun. As a salaried employee, I don't see anything past 40 hours. Like that's
exactly.
But I also have then the ability to also work under 40 hours and still see the same paycheck because it's salaried. So like
you probably have a less chance of being shown the door once the product is getting released too, right? Or no?
That's a
maybe.
Ooh,
maybe.
There's a lot of people. I don't know if I would say that.
Okay.
But then I heard like stories of how you would come into this company and you will see that people are working extra hard even though they're on salary. And basically the culture is if you're not sleeping underneath your desk, you're not doing your job. So they trick the person to work more hours than they're supposed to because it's frowned upon if you leave on time, basically.
Right. It's never, there's no policy. There's nothing that says like you have to do this. It is a system of pressure, like peer pressure and whatnot, that's built into there. Because I mean, as a manager, we've gotten hit with, I've gotten hit with projects that like, unfortunately, we have to put in extra time, and like I can offset this in ways as best I can, but the people that are making the call that this has to happen aren't sitting here at the operations level. Yeah. So it's all like, if you can make that work-life balance, yes, there will be points where sometimes things will get out of whack, but they need to swing back towards a more balanced state. So, yeah. So anyway, hey, Rockstar. But I mean, this is what you talk about, like EA Spouse and Rockstar, and like there's been the people like there's been issues especially in this industry. Or as long as I can remember, like it's a weird.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also like I don't know. At Kosa's point, like security operations centers, we ain't closing. Like you're gonna be someone's working Christmas, so hackers don't go away. So yeah, we're nation states. So anyway, what do you got for Wario Inception?
Apparently, there's something on Reddit. A Reddit link about playing WarioWare on a 3DS in WarioWare on a 3DS. It's kind of weird.
So the 3DS Wario, the one that came out recently, he's making a video game because he's trying to run a tournament because that's how he thinks he'll make money.
Yes.
And then he outsources all the making of the games to all like the wacky friends from all the WarioWare. And then says he's not going to pay them, which is weirdly parallel to what we were just talking about. So I guess, that does happen. And there's some lady who like beats him up at one point. But
Oh my god,
yeah, it was
that's funny.
So
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the Wario DIY thing or it was the new one or what, but yeah. Apparently John Carpenter's talking about making a They Live 2. Everybody seen the original They Live?
I'm aware of it.
You ever seen They Live? You should see They Live. It's a good movie. It's Roddy Piper, rest in peace, is in it. Keith David is in it. Definitely worth seeing. It's ahead of its time. It's good political and social satire with some pretty good action in it as well. So yeah. Apparently, Hitman 2 is going to have some. What do you call those missions, Tiny?
These are the limited time ones.
Elusive targets.
Elusive targets, yes.
And Sean Bean is going to be
the first
elusive target.
Yes.
And out of folks who don't know, Sean Bean is an actor who always dies in everything that he's ever in.
Stop.
That's kind of his thing.
That's actually genius.
It kind of is. So yeah, I don't know who came up with that, but that's interesting. When does Hitman 2 even come out?
November 16th, something like that.
I never finished all of the other one. I feel like I'm not even ready.
It was the first Hitman's so awesome.
Oh no, it's great. I have it on Steam. It is a good game. It is quality.
I'm looking. The cool thing about this one is they're not doing the episodic. Like they're releasing all the content. Well, all the episode, whatever the stages up front. So, like. Coincidentally, we'll be doing a 24-hour game charity marathon. And I'll have access to that game. So
yeah, it should. Yeah, but aside the fact that we say we're going to play the first Mario Party for the full 24 hours, I think that's what we.
Did we agree to that?
We did agree upon that, right? Remember? No. Bueller. Okay. I'm going to mispronounce this. Huawei. There we go. Huawei had some kind of ad for their Mate 20 phone where they say it was better than a Switch. I'm not sure.
Isn't it battery life that's better?
I thought they said it in general. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It is battery life. Yes.
I remember seeing something like it's like this lasts 6 hours playing Arena of Valor as compared to if you played Arena of Valor on your Switch, which would only last 3 hours. Which really makes me wonder. Is that true? Because like that game's not Breath of the Wild. So like, why is your Switch dying in 3 hours? Like,
yeah, that makes no sense.
It seems like the battery should last longer.
I've never had issues with like Breath of the Wild and battery.
I mean, but it
maybe after the 6 hour, I was like, oh, okay, it's dying.
Yeah, like it would eat through battery. Like I feel like faster than like this is a MOBA. Or Arenas of Valor is.
Yeah.
Like, it's always going to be the 3 lanes. You're playing as your character, and it's like an action MOBA. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not trying to insult it. I'm just saying, like, yo, it's not the most complicated thing on earth. So it feels... I don't know. It seems odd that the Switch would die that quickly with it.
Well, Wolfkin seems to be very excited about the Huawei. He calls it a pretty sexy new phone. I don't know. It's $1,000.
What?
It has some kind of dock. That has an analog stick and a D-pad.
It looked like rip-offs of the Joy-Con.
Yeah, but it's on one side, so you kind of snap it in and it's on one side. I don't know. So
a little odd.
And then the last thing was apparently there's an achievement for Stanley Parable, great game on Steam, where if you buy the game and you haven't played it for 5 years, you get this achievement. And sometime this week was the first time that achievement was eligible to be redeemed. Or
what?
Yeah, if you bought it and never played it for 5 years,
it is the Go Outside achievement.
Yeah,
if you launch the game once and then don't play it for 5 years, you will be awarded this achievement the next time you launch it after the 5 year time. So
I never played the follow-up release from that developer. I think I bought it. Was it Accounting? Is that what was it?
Is that the VR one?
Yeah. I have it, but I don't think I played
Is
it.
it a counting simulator?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So.
Oh, Wolfkin said you get the achievement if you've never opened it. Well, I think, Tana, you corrected me.
I believe you have to have launched it once.
Yeah.
And then...
not come back for 5 years.
Yeah, and not back. That's why, like, I'm hesitant to go open it right now, because I played through Stanley Parables.
Yeah, great game.
At some point, but if I open it now, that will reset the counter.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that. That's just...
Like, I mean, I want this Steam achievement that I don't care about really at all. So...
Oh, and Captain Kazoo asked if we like wrestling. Do we like wrestling? And he said, "You ever heard of the Montreal Screwjob?" Yeah, I'm very familiar with the Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon. It's funny you mentioned wrestling because I had gotten back into professional wrestling, and it's a guilty pleasure. And because so many of the storylines right now are either stale or they keep having the same matches, I just stopped watching it again. I just kind of went, cold turkey, like, yeah, I'm done again. So I just kind of just stepped away from it. So I think this week was the 1000th episode of SmackDown. I was home. I could have watched it, but just to be able to say that I didn't watch it, I didn't watch it. And that is true integrity. No,
I feel like I've heard Dan Reichert mention the Montreal Screwjob, and that's the only reason I would know it.
Essentially, Bret Hart was the champ. It was known he was going over to WCW, the rival company.
Right.
And I think I'm telling this right. So Captain Kazoo, if I'm saying it wrong, please chime in. And he was not supposed to. Basically, he was in Canada. He was in Montreal, and he didn't want to lose in front of his hometown.
Right.
But they screwed him over, and he lost, and he got mad. He actually spat in Vince McMahon's face. And it wasn't, it wasn't a work. It was a shoot, meaning he was really upset. It wasn't like a part of the show. He was legitimately upset, and they actually went back to that. Like they've referenced it because Bret Hart did come back for to WWF to do something a couple of years ago. I wasn't watching it then. I had stopped watching at that point again. But it was a real thing. And Captain Goose said, "I can't watch anything past the Attitude Era." It's funny. I got into wrestling because of the N64 games. Not so much WCW and World Tour, but Revenge. WCW NWO Revenge for N64 that got me to start watching wrestling. And then once the WWF games came out, No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy, I was in by then. And it's my roommate in college, my sophomore year, was the reason why I started watching wrestling. And then the pipe bomb speech. I've seen the video a number of times. I know what CM Punk did, but I wasn't really actively watching it when that was new. So, yeah.
So what is the...
basically, CM Punk went out and basically he just kind of laid it all. He basically said what like a fan would say about the fakeness and the phoniness and not wanting to, play by the rules of the company. And he was honest about the product and the people who run it to a point where it was like, wait, is this real or not? Is he fired? Like, what is going on? So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, and he added some, apparently Bret Hart caused a riot and destroyed an entire set in a fit of rage and threatened to kill Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels.
Man, okay. Yeah. That's a piece to...
And this was Bret Hart, who his brother. This is after, but his brother Owen Hart passed away during there was a botch. I don't know what pay-per-view event it was, but his thing was a miscommunication about a harness, and he actually fell to his death in the middle of during a pay-per-view event. That's a rough one. So
yeah,
that happened.
Man, gotcha.
All right, and that's enough of wrestling and news. I'm sure you all have heard enough. And we're going to wrap up and get out of here. So, Kosa, shout-outs, plugs?
I'm reviving my YouTube.
Okay, so good stuff.
Good.
It's going to take me a bit. It's been a crazy year. But I was pushed by my sister who was like, oh my God, you have so many followers. Why don't you just keep doing this? So I thought about it, and I'm gonna bring it back.
Good stuff.
And
Yeah.
what are you going to focus on initially?
It's gonna be gaming, but more like casual, like gaming.
Like Mario Party with blindfolds on? I'm kidding.
Wow, super casual.
This blister really hurts.
What is happening? Am I losing?
Hand me the glove. Okay.
So it's mostly going to be gaming and probably reviews and unboxings, which is something that I used to do before.
Okay.
So
I look
forward to
forward
that.
to seeing that
Yeah.
content. Good stuff.
Yes, yes.
If I've heard nothing but positive things about YouTube. That they're very kind and generous to all of
Right.
the content creators. I mean, it's-
As long as you're not making money, I think you're good.
yeah, I had my maybe almost a year of making $10 a month.
Wow,
Yeah, and that ended. That was 2 years ago. So.
a whole
A
$10.
whole $10.
Big money.
Yeah, that's been that gravy train dried up real quick. I'm not even. Yeah, I'm not even monetized. I did. That's what I hit 1 million views, but I have less than 2,000 subscribers. Of course, it took 10 years to hit that. So, yeah, do better than I'm doing. Let me put it that way. You probably do better just by default, but yeah, don't do what I do. Do better than me. So.
More than $10.
More than 10 bucks. Or actually, well, become monetized.
This is the ceiling for success we're using.
More than $10.
Hey,
Which I mean,
is...
hey, $10 a month, is, infinitely more than I've made off the Twitch channel. So, yeah,
yeah.
I still haven't gotten a payout yet, but you have to cross like $100 to get a payout. So,
Oh wow.
one day,
Do you have subs or what is it on Twitch? Subs or followers? Which one is it?
subs and bits, and like you can actually go look Twitch revenue.
What is a bit in terms of?
So
Twitch?
that's their currency they have for like what you can tip with. So like most tipping that you think about for Twitch actually happens outside of Twitch, like it's like a PayPal account or whatnot, like a Patreon, that kind of stuff. They have their own currency, that you can that you can tip, like buy 200 bits, and then you can share that out on different channels. So yeah, so it's
we all have goals. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
We have dreams.
someday I will see a Twitch check, is what I'm saying. So someday. So
Okay,
And well,
sorry, go ahead.
want to thank you guys for having me again. It's been 2 years, I think.
Yeah, and hopefully it will not be that long for the next. You're like a foot taller.
Are you growing? What is happening?
Not here. Okay. That's for sure. Yeah, good times. If Mike was here, he would mention donating blood and having your pet spayed or neutered by a professional. That's sort of his sign off. So hopefully he's enjoying Halloween. It's probably over by now, and Michael has killed everybody. I don't know. It's kind of his thing.
safe bet. Yeah.
It's a very safe bet.
Well, okay, let me rephrase this. Killed most of them, and then he's overcome by someone that it's weird that you don't think you'd be like would beat him, and then they stop him somehow. Like,
Well, she cut his head off in H2O, so but I know that's not canon anymore.
he goes to space,
Does he?
right? No, is that
That's Jason.
That's Jason. Sorry,
That's Jason X. Yeah, that was a good movie, and by good I mean like
that movie was
entertaining.
Like,
yeah.
good bad.
garbage.
Okay, what did you expect it to be though?
Okay.
Like,
This is one of those few times.
this is not Shakespearean.
I'm hoping statute of limitations up here. Me and my roommate pirated that a couple weeks before it came out in theaters and turned it off before the ending. We're like, this is that bad.
Because I think it came out like in
Freshman year of college, 2001, it would have come out.
It came out ahead of time. Yeah.
So it was hot. Like, there are some funny parts where he's on the holodeck or whatever their version of the holodeck is there. And it's like, oh, we're teenage girls, blah, blah, blah. And do you want to get high and have premarital sex? Because there's like holograms of people that only have incomplete records from the 2000s. Like, that's funny. But it's like, at one point, the cyborg like destroys Jason, and then the stupid medical table
makes him like super.
Gives him nanites. Yeah, like, and they use nanites like Kojima does. Magic. So they do everything.
Well, yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, that's Jason X. Hey, we're gonna keep talking about it. Extra Life's coming up very soon. Game day is in 15 days. So if you want to join the GameEnthus team, go to extra-life.org/team/GameEnthus. Sign up there. Come play with us. We're actually going to do our game day on December 15th because that's just when schedules work. But you can do it any day of the year, and you can raise for any of 170 different Children's Miracle Network hospitals across Canada and the U.S. So yeah, go check that out. And if you can't participate, please donate. 100% of what you donate goes to the local children's hospital for whoever you're donating to. So Aaron raised for John Hopkins. Our friend Donnie, I think, is doing it for DC Children's National in DC. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So 100% of what you donate goes directly to help those children's hospitals. Aaron, what about you, bro?
Thank you, Kosa, for joining us once again. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for the folks who are in the chat. Hopefully Wolfkin can start getting into horror movies and not get to sleep. I think that's always the goal. And shout out to Dave K from Good for Gaming. He gave me a nice shout out on Twitter and for Extra Life as well, so I appreciate that. And Keon for leaving the voicemail. We appreciate you doing that. It's always good to hear from you. And if you want to leave us feedback, you can always call us. Leave us a voicemail at 202-573-7686 or email us at tiny415@GameEnthus, Aaron at GameEnthus, or assaultsuit at GameEnthus, or podcast at GameEnthus. Any of those will work. Always reach out to us. And and now we're on Spotify. We're doing big things. Not really, but we are on Spotify. Finally. I've applied like 9 times, never heard anything. This time it finally went through, so we're on Spotify now. So yeah. I impressed myself. I don't know. It's funny, a lot of smaller shows were on Spotify. I'm like, how did you all get on? You just applied. I'm like, I did. We didn't get on. They like us. They finally like us.
It's our strong reviews on horror movies.
What happened now?
It's our strong views on horror movies.
Yes, very strong views. I don't watch horror. I watch slasher movies. I won't watch like The Conjuring or
that just seems like dumb people. Like
I don't watch that kind
I don't
of
like what did I see? I saw The Exorcist. Like that's a scary movie at points.
Yeah.
I've
seen
fun
that.
one.
But I don't watch any of those of the ones like The Nun. I'm not watching that. I'm good.
Why are you people messing with these evil forces? Like, stop that. So
didn't the room the door look evil? Why would you go in? Like,
the wall was bleeding. How about you get out?
Exactly. So yeah. Anyway, we'll be here all night if we don't stop rambling. But
I gotta actually go join a call. So we gotta.
Kosa, any final words before we get out of here?
I don't have any.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Later all.